Erin Sullivan, welcome to the MSUM Dragons podcast today. How are you?
I am good. Glad to be here. Thank you.
We're happy to have you here as we start the MSUM swim season. You are a new face, but a familiar face to our swimming and diving team and audience. But just tell us a little bit about why you decided, as so many records that you hold, and all-time leading point scorer for MSUM swimming and diving. Why have you come back to coach this program?
Yeah, I had a great experience here. I think the people that I've worked with in the past and now again are super awesome individuals. And I think just the environment has been really awesome to be back in. I think swimming is such a great sport individually, but also as a team. So I think I really missed the college atmosphere of being in the college swim kind of world. So it's awesome to be back with that. And just being back in Fargo Moorhead, it's been good. I can't believe how much has changed about just the town since I was here a few years ago. But I think it's really, really awesome to see the growth and the change that has come.
Speaking of change, the change from athlete to coach is significant. What have you noticed as some of the differences between the coaching perspective and the athlete's perspective?
Yeah, there are lots of changes and stuff that I would never have thought about as an athlete. I think as an athlete, you have a lot different mindset. You have a lot of other things that you're focusing on, a lot of other priorities. And I think being a student athlete, I think that's a really big responsibility. And then I think just being an employee, being a coach, I think there just is a lot more interactions with people within athletics. And I think that's been really cool to see, just kind of the shift of being an athlete and interacting within athletics, but then being a coach. And I think just the relationships as a team player, as an athlete, you build relationships with your team, but they're a little bit different as a coach. So it's been cool to see the difference there as well.
Yeah, when you're next to someone who's about to swim and you're about to swim versus, a polo on the side with a clipboard and a stopwatch, it's a little bit different a vibe on meet day, as we just hosted our first duel against Northern State, which went well, I think.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about, because we haven't gotten to talk about the swim team a whole heck of a lot yet as you begin your season. Tell us a little bit about the team and what it was like to get that win at home.
Yeah. Saturday, our meet was awesome. The girls performed extremely well. The energy on the pool deck was incredible. I just think everyone came together really well. And, in the middle of the season or starting out our competition, I think practices are going to be really hard. They're in the weight room lifting pretty hard. We're swimming them in practice really hard. So being able to see them kind of overcome maybe what they've been feeling in practices and perform super well at a meet is really awesome to see. The energy, like I said, was amazing. The teamwork and, just having people to look at, kind of like you said, you are racing and so are your teammates. So having that kind of shared experience was really, really cool to see. We have a good group of swimmers this year. We have upperclassmen, and then we have a super awesome incoming freshman class. And the way they're able to work together at practice and at our first meet was really, really awesome to see.
And it is a long season. I know it goes well into February, as we always prepare for conference around that time. But back to you and returning to MSUM and coaching, you said you were kind of missing that environment and missing that kind of team atmosphere. You've been a part of the swim program for a little bit. Have you found it? Has this job brought that back in you, that fire of competition?
Yeah, absolutely. At our first meet, especially it came back, and just again, it's a little bit different rather than being in the pool now on the sideline with a stopwatch and talking about races with the athletes, but it definitely came back, kind of the love for competition, the love for, throughout the week you're practicing and looking forward to that meet day and to the races you're going to be racing. And stepping out of the pool and watching the races is not the same, but it kind of gave me the same feeling, the same energy. It really pumped me up. So that was awesome.
How this coaching thing is so different. I did the same thing. I was a basketball player who started to be a basketball assistant coach, which found out I was terrible at, and they did this marketing thing, thank goodness. But what about coaching have you found just absolutely, this just pulls you, just lights you up about, I don't want to answer it for you, but what have you found that lights you up about this new experience as a coach?
Sure. I really just think the people. I really think being around people for me and helping people is definitely one of my strengths. I think I'm an educator, so similar to education, I think just being able to guide people, help people through with their struggles and be there for their victories, I think is really awesome. Mm-hmm. And then I think having been in the athlete's shoes a few years ago, like we talked about, I think that's valuable also, knowing where they're at, knowing, halfway through the season, it's going to be tough, but at the end, it's all worth it. So I think that's valuable for me to know where they're at, but I think it's valuable for them to have the coaching staff that is understanding of that as well.
Yeah, I think as an athlete, it has to be pretty humbling to be like, oh, that's Erin Sullivan. I mean, her name is up there a lot of times and she's real good. And also your challenge is probably to say, how can I help this person get their name up there? How can I help this person take my name off of that board?
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
How does that kind of process out for you when you, hella awesome competitor, kudos there for sure. But now shifting to, okay, I want you to be better than that. And how do you get there? And I know we've only been coaching for a little while here, but how would you, I mean, you obviously responded to something. How do you plan to get that out of the athletes that we have here?
Sure. I absolutely think that, kind of like I said, I love to help people. I love to kind of meet them where they're at and see what they need. And I was once there, and now, I wear different hats now. I kind of identify as not the athlete, but the coach. So I think my drive to help people really is going to push that, and, wanting them to be better, wanting them to want to achieve more. And I think just helping them swim for themselves, helping them find what they need to push them and motivate them to do their best every day. And I think their inner motivation is just going to drive them to do their best. And hopefully they can get some records up there, or, get some personal best times. And I think that's kind of the fun of it all, is just doing your absolute best that you can.
What lessons can you take from being an athlete to being a better coach? Obviously, you said you had a great student athlete experience here. You obviously were successful in competition. What kind of experiences can you take because of your most recent firsthand experience that you think that will make the biggest difference in the pool?
Yeah, I think definitely something that I learned as a student athlete is, priorities and time management. I think that's something that everybody can improve on. And I think it's something that's really important when we're a student athlete, no matter what sport you are, just having that prioritizing of what's important to me right now, and what can I maybe not prioritize, and maybe next week that's my priority. So I think definitely just looking at what skills we're learning, what skills I took away from my swimming experience, and then helping the girls prioritize those skills and what other skills they can kind of take away from it.
Let's look into the future crystal ball a little bit, which is hard to do after one meet down. But and obviously being fresh to it. But what does the future look like for Dragon Swimming here as we get started with you and Coach King and this group? What is the season? What are the team talking about? What's going on in the pool?
Yeah, we have some dual meets coming up, some home, some away. I think that's the focus right now. We have our mid-season meet in December. That's in Rochester, and that's something we really focus on. And I think as swimmers, it's really important to have something to look forward to. I think sometimes it can just get just kind of old, we're swimming laps back and forth. There's not a whole lot of different things we can do. So I think having that mid-season meet to look forward to, improving at that. And then we look forward to conference, kind of like you said, in February. Those mid-season markers and the end of the season meet, that's really what we're working towards. But weekly, we have, practices that we kill, we do awesome at. We take things away from that, and then we hopefully try to, take away from practice and perform well in our meets.
Well, fantastic. There's definitely a lot, I think, to having that in the pool, same pool kind of experience for the athletes to look up to. So I really appreciate you deciding to bring that back to MSUM as an assistant coach and helping the program that you helped achieve great things to continue to do the same. We really appreciate you joining the team again. We look forward to watching a lot of swimming this year. I think we have a couple weeks until we get a home event, but excited to have the Dragons back in Nemzik pool competing again. And then, just a mad rush for PRs and goal setting and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm excited to watch it all. So thank you for coming back, and thank you for joining us on the podcast today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was awesome to chat with you.